1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, it's Carolina Country Music Month here on Country and Cold Cans. I'm Logan, sitting here with Trucker Andy and Kyle. Be sure to give us 5 stars and a great review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And in the link of this podcast there, or in the description, there's a link that says click here to leave us a voicemail. Let us know any questions, any comments, or if you have any artists you want us to check out, hit us there in the voicemail. Check out the website, countryandcoldcans.com, for blog content and merch. And yeah, as we said at the very top, this week, the month of August, we're going to put a focus on, with at least one segment each show, on some North Carolina artists, our home state. We got a Corey Hunt EP lined up for today. We might have some potential interviews coming up in the next few weeks with some artists from the Old North State. But, you know, we hadn't really ever done anything like this before. We were talking about it, and we said, might as well do it here in August. And that'll lead us right into before we branch back out to Oklahoma next month, because we have a couple of big albums. I know Andy, Kyle, y'all know that Turnpike's record comes out August 25th, but it was announced today that Zach Bryan, another Okie, has also releasing his record on August 25th. So that's going to be a big record release day.
Can I ask a question?
That was a question.
Yeah, well, I had seen clips of this Barstool interview with some random chick. Didn't know who she was.
Brianna Chicken Fry.
Is she like dating Zach Bryan?
So yeah, Andy, you're familiar with the BFFs pod. Portnoy, some TikToker named Josh Richards, and Brianna Chicken Fry. Not a real name, by the way. I can't pronounce her last name, but that's like her Barstool name. They do this show called BFFs. Brianna is like apparently really, really famous and popular now. And she went to a show with her, with I think not Dave, but a couple of the other co-hosts, and to a Zach Bryan show. And then like she said, Zach Bryan like slid into her DMs, and now they're dating. And they kept it under wraps for a while until TikTok discovered it, but they didn't announce it on their dating and relationships, in air quotes, podcast that they host with Dave. Dave ripped her a new one for not telling him and not breaking it on the show. And then he was just like, he goes,
is he there? Is he there? Well, I was just saying, like the clip I saw was just like, yeah, we went to a Zach Bryan show, and like you can see her look off in the camera, and then like she like nods, and Dave Portnoy is like, is he there?
Yeah.
Are you in it? Are you in his band? Put his ass on.
No, she was at his house in Oklahoma.
Oh, his house. Okay, I couldn't tell if it was a tour bus or what it was. Yeah, okay.
And then Dave said when he was like, they got Zach Bryan part of his face in there. He goes, just get him on fucking camera so we can screenshot it for the thumbnail. He at least owes us that.
Dave Portnoy knowing the YouTube
Portnoy
algorithms.
didn't know who he was, which is hilarious.
He didn't know who he was, really?
No.
Oh, I'm not a stoolie or whatever it is. I have enough podcasts to listen to, but I'd just seen clips of it, and I was just like, who is this random chick on a podcast with Dave Portnoy?
She was one of the DJs at Doggy Jams at ECU a year or two ago.
Never been. I live under a rock.
The best thing about that podcast is Portnoy not having a clue what's going on, because I don't either. And they have to explain everything to him. That's me.
Yeah, because Portnoy, he's in his 40s. And then Brianna and Josh Richards are like early 20s. So half the shit I'm with Andy that they talk about, I don't understand it either.
Portnoy's got everything printed out on a piece of paper, like screenshots on a piece of paper.
Makes sense. Yeah, I'm an old man.
But yeah, apparently Zach Bryan's dating her. So good for him.
She's pretty hot. Yeah, she's a pretty girl. So hey, good for him.
I wonder if that's what happened with Zach Bryan and what was her name? Deb?
So they went through the timeline on the episode apparently, and they were saying that there was no overlap.
I don't even know who Deb is.
I don't either.
That was Zach Bryan's girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Did he pull the old Russell Wilson trick?
I know they recently broke up because I saw it on Instagram.
Andy, have you ever seen the Russell Wilson clip of when he gets drafted and he's sitting beside, good, pretty young lady, and she has like this just horrendous laugh. Or like when you screenshot one image of it, it looks like horrendous for her, unfortunately. and it's just like what money can do for you. And now he's married to like Sierra, one of those beautiful women on the planet. And they always just splash back to this one image of when he gets drafted, and like it's just this poor woman who got caught in like the worst frame of reference of all time.
It was like his college girlfriend when he was at NC State.
Yeah, I mean she's a pretty girl, but it's just like that one freeze frame does her no justice. Like she looks psychotic.
She's sitting there like, "We're rich," and he's like, "No, honey, I'm rich."
Now he's with like Sierra, and it's just hilarious. Yeah. I was wondering if that was the same kind of thing. Like I said, I'm an old man. I live under a rock, so I didn't know.
Yeah, I only discovered it because of Twitter, or I guess X is what it's called now. But
I feel kind of. Can we go on a tangent? I feel kind of guilty. I'm glad that Twitter redirects to X, but if you type in X.com, I feel slightly dirty.
Because you're missing a couple X's.
I mean, yeah, in my younger days, yeah. I mean, absolutely.
You mean younger days by last month?
That's right, King Kyle.
But 2 weeks ago, if we're being honest.
Oh, King Kyle.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. X, it just feels kind of dirty.
Well,
I don't
are
like
you seriously like going on a website browser and typing in twitter.com?
I don't have the app on my phone.
Oh, Lord.
You can't use the app unless you're signed in.
Yeah. So Google remembers my password, and I know I can restore it, but I find myself. So when I nuked my Facebook a few years ago, because I just got tired of getting just drug into all these whatever posts or whatever, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just delete my Twitter. And I deleted the app and couldn't remember my password. And so occasionally, and also I nuked like 90% of my people I follow. It's mainly just sports now, because that's all I really care to read. I don't care about politics or any of these other things. It's mainly like, sports. So yeah, I log into my browser and every other day. It's not like Instagram where every time you log on and you're like, oh, Kyle's on Instagram an hour ago.
Kyle's on Instagram a lot.
I do love some reels, and I will not download TikTok.
Because you just got to wait a week and they're on reels.
Exactly. And there are some absolutely hilarious ass reels.
Oh, yeah.
And most of the time, when I send you, let's just put it all out in the open. When I send you 2 reels, it's most of the time I'm taking a shit. So,
yeah, I can understand. I do the same.
Yeah. So, I always imagine, oh, Kyle sent us a reel. He must be taking a shit. So, you know what he's up to. But I get lost, and sometimes I'll be sitting in there and Bailey be like, "What in the fuck are you doing in there?" I'll just be giggling, sitting in the bathroom.
It's funny
watching a reel
without going into what types for each friend, because that would be boring to everybody. But it's funny how when I run across reels, I know like which friend of mine it would apply to and which one would find it funny. So you have like different groups. You have some that are like individuals, but you have different reels, and you like pick and choose who you're going to send it to, because like everybody's got things that if it's not up their alley, they're not going to respond. So you have to have a very targeted on if they're going to give you the double tap that it was a good reel.
And we're also me, you, and Andy are also in one group together, and it's hilarious because Logan will send one reel knowing that I'll get a kick out of it, and Andy won't find it funny, and then he'll send another reel.
It's just for Andy.
It's just for Andy, and knowing that I just be like, man, I let that go. And
sometimes me and Kyle will laugh just because we know it's for Andy.
And we're like, yep, that's up Andy's alley.
Yeah. I know which ones they are.
They're very apparent.
Yeah. but yeah, if it wasn't for the podcast, I wouldn't have TikTok either. But
by the way, how do we rate the strategy of dropping his album the same day as Turnpike? Is this more of a threat?
The reason I think that it's on the 25th is because the guy from the Lumineers.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. He
put something out that he must have been able to hear some of it, or I didn't read the full quote, but he apparently put on his Instagram story that it was dropping the 19th. Mm-hmm. So because of that, it probably got pushed.
Yeah, my sister's a big Lumineers fan, and she had put up something, which is what I'd saw through that. But I don't like it.
There's going to be too much to have to listen to.
I mean, like, it's just.
We'll get 10 Turnpike songs and about 30 Zach Bryan songs all in the same weekend.
Three times the Turnpike album.
Yeah, probably.
I still think it's going to be 2X.
It might, even if it's 20, but.
Still. I mean, we know Turnpike's 10. They
we know
up
Turnpike's
the other day.
10.
They put up, so.
Nice and classic.
Yeah, 10 to 12 sweet spot for a record.
Andy, what's your bottom line for now? Was it 9?
Mm-hmm.
9 is okay. Yeah, I don't like it because there's plenty of time in the month of August to allow everyone to have their little space.
Yeah,
and Turnpike has been long awaited. It's been 4 years.
It's been a long time coming.
It's been longer than that.
Was it 2017? Maybe 6 years.
2017 or 18.
Yeah, so it's 5-6 years. Yeah, man, give him. I mean, Zach's on top of the world.
Yeah, right now it is.
Yeah, you should just.
Yeah,
you should just give
Brianna
them
Chicken Fry. All the people on Barstool apparently know who he is. That's how you know that you're no longer an independent, like small time artist.
6 years.
When the people up in New York are all talking about how much they love you.
Yeah, I don't like dropping on the same day. I feel like it's not. He's not doing it on purpose, but it's just like, come on, man. You can wait till the next following Friday or whatever.
Yeah,
I kind of agree with that.
The older Turnpike fans probably will have something to say about it. I'll have to keep my eyes peeled on the Facebook groups.
But yeah, there's plenty of
their hatred for Zach Bryan is crazy to me, and it's hilarious to read.
They're just gonna. Maybe he's feeding the flames. Maybe he knows and he did it on purpose because of that.
What if one of his songs is feeding the flame? That's a great song title. Andy, look at you with the foresight. Foresight. Yeah, look at Andy right here.
All I'm gonna say is, guys, it's okay to like Turnpike and Zach Bryan.
There is a stark generational gap. I mean, like not even a generational gap. It's like 5 to 7 years, and we're like smack dab in the middle.
Well, that's what we're at the age where we kind of were a part of both. If that, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we were the
young ones for Turnpike.
Yeah, now we're the old heads for Zach.
Yeah,
Turnpike fell apart shortly after the last album, right?
Yeah.
So,
because Andy, me and you saw them with Chase in 2018 at the Ritz.
So a lot of the Zach Bryan, what's the top side of his major fan base? 26, maybe?
At the oldest.
So
no, they're probably about 26 now.
Yeah, because what was his first? Was it from Austin? That was 2020?
No, that wasn't his first. His first was
his first big hit?
His first big hit was Heading South.
Heading South, okay.
So
2019 was when that album came out.
And that's 4 years ago. Yeah, okay.
Godspeed was another one.
A large portion of Zach's fan base wasn't really old enough to even see Turnpike.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, because the first song I remember hearing from Zach was from Austin.
Yeah.
I was a little late to the party.
Yeah. Oh, I was a little late to the party compared to the younger folks.
Yeah, so that's 2019, 2020. Yeah, they're probably 25, 26.
Because I went and saw Zach Bryan in 2019. No, it wasn't 2019. It was I saw Tyler Childers 2019 at the Ritz.
21?
I saw Zach Bryan in 21. Yeah, it was 21. It was 2 years after that first album had released.
And now he's selling out amphitheaters.
Yeah.
He could be selling out more if he didn't have the falling out with Ticketmaster or whoever it was.
Yeah, because all my homies hate Ticketmaster.
That was a hilarious video with Theo Von. I mean, one of the greatest roast ever.
That was funny.
I would love to see him have a Swift tour because, God, the Swifties are annoying.
The ticket prices people pay for that is wild to me to go see tickets.
I was watching NBC News today at work, and it was I mean, it's great for her. She donates an assload of money to local charities or whatever from her tour or whatever. Her concert in LA generated $320 million of revenue.
That's nuts.
That's a lot.
She sold out SoFi, which is an enormous stadium.
Yeah, it is.
They had a Super Bowl there, what, 2 years ago, a year ago?
Yeah, it was
Whatever
the year
it was.
the Rams won.
Yeah. Enormous state of the art stadium. And I'm not going to hate on her because she does a lot of good things. Her fans are really cringe, though.
Yeah,
Like
that's the case for a lot of really, really popular people. Like their fans are what is annoying.
They interviewed this dad, and he was like, "Yeah, I spent $10,000 to take my family of 4," and I'm just like, "Holy God, Jesus Christ!"
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Like, I know you love your kids, but you got to teach them some.
Don't know if I love them that much.
Some boundaries.
Yeah.
You got to teach them some boundaries, man. $10,000 to take your 2 daughters. Holy shit!
I bet secretly he's the one that wanted to go.
Well, his dad said his shirt it was a custom shirt that he had. As some lyric to one of her songs. I don't know. It's like, "It's me. Hi,
I'm the problem.
dad.
It's me.
It said,
I'm the dad. It's me.
Yeah, that's what it said. Yeah, and I was just like, "Yep, I know that lyric chorus or whatever." And I was just like,
from Anti-Hero.
Yeah, you're low key probably the big fan.
No, I'm a Taylor Swift fan. I will admit that. I'm not a go to see her in concert type fan, but I'm a appreciator of her songwriting prowess.
I think like the one song that I've heard since like we were in high school is like the Trouble song.
I've heard that.
I think that's probably yeah.
Well, Kyle, you just knew the reference to Anti-Hero.
When did that album come out?
Like last year.
Oh shit! Okay, well I know that one song then. Yeah,
that song was all over the radio, and you have a lady in your life, so there's zero chance you haven't heard it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I could hear the chorus. I couldn't recite the lyrics, but I knew what he was doing with his little shirt there. I was like,
yeah,
I have not heard it.
I think it was like, "It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me."
Yeah, it's one of the few songs she ever wrote where she said she was the problem and not the dude.
She's getting older. Maybe some more reflection, but
take a look in the mirror, Taylor.
All right, so let's jump into our first segment for Carolina Country Music Month, highlighting artists from North Carolina. We've talked about some North Carolina artists in the past. Obviously the more well-known ones, like we've talked about Luke Combs and Eric Church, the well-known ones within independent music, American Aquarium. This month, we're going to try to focus on a little bit more of that some of you may know them, some of you may not. The first one we're going to talk about is Corey Hunt. Corey Hunt and the Wise is the name of the band. Andy and I, how many years ago was it, Andy, that we first saw them in concert here in North Carolina?
Like 5? Yeah, 5.
Something like that,
Maybe 6. It was December. I remember that.
Because we saw them in Fuquay, and then I saw them in Raleigh, and I took our buddies Ben and Aaron with me to that show. But Corey Hunt is just like a really, really nice dude, because he talked to Andy for a long time after the Fuquay show. When I saw him in Raleigh, he talked to me for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes after that one. Real down to earth dude. The music is definitely kind of up mine and Andy's alley, especially mine. This was like one of the artists that we kind of got into at the very beginning of us doing this show.
Yeah, that was the first show we went to since we started it.
Yeah, it was the first concert we went to.
Everybody knew us, I think, from that
Turnpike video of us doing karaoke in Nashville. Yeah, Kyle, people, these, like, I don't want to call them older, but they were older than us, women, probably in their 40s and 50s. They took a photo with me and Andy and put it in the Turnpike group chat on Facebook with all the Turnpike fans, like thousands of people in it, and said, we met the legends. And then somebody said, "You mean these guys?" And they posted the video of me and Andy singing Turnpike karaoke in Nashville.
What song did you sing?
I've had a few beers in us.
More than that.
What song did you sing?
The only one they had available, Jen Smoking Lies.
Oh, it's one of my favorites. That's a very doable karaoke song for you too. Not to disparage you.
The best part
it wasn't that night.
The best part was Andy was trying to stomp his boots with the rhythm and was just
way off.
He was way off. The video is hilarious.
You're a white fellow. It's not your fault.
There was nobody home.
Andy's just staring at the camera like this.
Andy, how far were you off rhythm? At least 2 beats.
If I can find the video, I'll send it to you after we get it recorded.
Yeah.
I was trying to look like Evan did in the video.
In your head, you probably did look like Evan, but in reality, it was probably pretty far off.
Yeah, roll the tape. Yeah, so we did get recognized at a Corey Hunt show because of that video circulating the Turnpike fan group. But like I said, we saw him back years ago. He had some success on Texas regional radio. The song "I'm Doing Fine" was a decent hit out that way, especially in the Lubbock area. I think is it Rebel Radio or something like that. I can never remember. But
the Lubbock station.
Yeah, the Lubbock station. But so he's had some notoriety. He's kind of like within the independent North Carolina scene. He's kind of a bigger player around here. He has like that group of guys. They all like write together and have played shows together. You know, the Tyler Hatley, Mikkel Buck, Justin Cloud Williams. Like a lot of those guys, they've all played shows together many, many times. But to start off, Corey Hunt, he released a EP, When the Smoke Clears, back in November of 2022. We had mentioned it in passing at the time, but we figured to circle back to it this time since we're focusing on North Carolina artists. So we'll just kick off, with our overall thoughts, and then we'll go through. It's only like 6 songs, so then we'll go through the track list. But this EP, I should say, this EP was something that I really, really liked the sound of, especially a couple of songs at the beginning in particular, like the Whenever the Smoke Clears. It was the production on that was very Tom Petty-esque, which was up my alley. But there were some very well-written songs on this that I'll get into my thoughts on when we go through the track list. But this was quintessential Corey Hunt, and I've always liked his vocal because his vocal does remind me of Dalton Domino a lot, actually. And so, like, I do hear that, but I was listening to Corey Hunt before I listened to Dalton Domino. But those two kind of remind me of each other a little bit vocally. But this was something that was kind of like right up my alley, from the songwriting to the production. And then obviously, I'm always the shield for the state of North Carolina. So definitely was a fan of this EP.
He does sound like Dalton Domino.
Now that you think about it, right?
Now that you mentioned, like, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always liked his sound. I might actually like the sound of this EP a little bit better than like The Tower, which is saying something because I really like The Tower.
Yeah. We used to listen to that album all the time back then.
That album's great. I like all of this stuff. So, as we say a lot, it's more of the same, which is a very good thing.
Yeah. Kyle, you're new to Corey Hunt.
I am, yes. I enjoyed it. When you sent it to me and the first listen through, I was like, this is a Logan DeBerry ass record. This is right up his alley. I didn't know about Andy because Andy is the hardest one for me to judge on this podcast. And we had talked about that briefly before we started recording. I think, Logan, you think I'm the hardest one to judge.
Yeah. I've been doing this show with Andy for over 4 years now, and then I also lived with him for the 4 years before that. So I have a pretty good grasp on what I think he's going to like. Kyle, I'm hit or miss. I think you'll like something, you won't. I think you won't like something, you will. Like, you are my Andy in terms of my predictions.
Kyle is predictably unpredictable.
Yes.
Yeah,
because the Corey Hunt era for me and Andy predated you joining the podcast.
Some may call me a hypocrite. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it. All I could think of was this is a Logan DeBerry ass record. And me and you have it's like a Venn diagram, if you will. We love the same stuff, but then again, on the outer edges, it's vastly different.
That's true.
So I would say if we added a third circle, this would be probably tinging. I don't really know how you describe a third circle on a Venn diagram other than sounding like Kamala Harris. She tried to explain.
She loves to talk about Venn diagrams.
Yeah, she does love to talk about the Venn diagrams. If we just put the third circle as like other, we would probably be like on the line where all three others meet for the record for me. I thought it was very good. I did not know he was from North Carolina until you told me. Could have fooled me. He doesn't sound like he's from North Carolina to me.
I don't know. I think I probably think he does more so because I've actually talked to him in normal conversation.
Yeah. It's hard to tell. It's like an actor. It's hard to tell where they're really from. Yeah, until you talk to them without the acting chops.
Yeah.
There was a line off of this EP. There was one word he said that sounded very familiar. Like, I guess it's just a North Carolina way of saying it, but no, I can't think of what it was. I'm not going to come up with it.
All right. Well, let's jump into the track list and give our thoughts. I thought the EP started off very strong in a relatively like more of a fun way with Runaway is the name of the song. It's a song about a guy who knows there's an expiration date on this relationship from the very beginning, but he's going to have his fun with it anyway. He's going to ride the wave, but he always knew she was a runaway. This one, loved this song from the first time I heard it. So I was a big fan of this one.
Yeah, it reminds me kind of like lyrically a little bit like Wild as Her by Kojo. That type of deal. Yeah, I agreed with you. I love the sound of this one too.
Yeah. A little more up-tempo kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I liked because some of the EP is kind of slow. And I think it suits him better to be have a little tempo in his background music. Also, it suits his style to me to have a little bit more pace in the song.
Yeah, because he's a very like country meets rock in the sense of like heartland rock, not like Stained kind of rock. But it's like I always have to clarify for Kyle because in Kyle's mind, rock means 2000s butt rock.
I was gonna put more like pop rock, but okay.
But he's got that like late O's teens Texas country sound.
Yes,
down to a T.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. I would, like I said, I think it's. You say heartland rock. I put more like pop rock, but not pop rock, but like it's between pop rock and alternative rock. It's
not Semi-Charmed Life.
It's not Bowling for Soup, but it's not Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
He's in one of those in between categories. That's hard to describe.
It's like Andy said, that like late 90s to early to mid 2000s kind of Texas country kind of sound.
The Randy Rogers era.
Yeah, that especially that era of Randy Rogers where it's rooted in country, but you have one or two blazing electric guitars in the mix. That's kind of like what his sound reminds me of a lot of. But yeah, Runaway opening. Then the next one is the title track, which I think is the best song on the album. It's Whenever the Smoke Clears. So that he wrote this song after reading an article about a dad who lost his daughter to cancer. And he said he didn't know these people, didn't know anything about them other than the article, but it gave him an idea for the song. And the song is about sitting there with someone that you love who's battling a health issue like this, who's in terminal position, and then just the strength and resolve from the person who is sick. It's almost like they're comforting you when logically you think it should be the other way around, but they're the ones comforting you. And I think this was the best written song on the album, in my opinion, by far. Sonically, this is very Tom Petty influenced, in my opinion, and I loved it.
Yeah, I hear the Tom Petty. Yeah, this song's fantastic. I like songs. I don't know. It's like dying with dignity, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I would feel like would be not maybe the easiest thing to do. I don't know. Never died.
Not that I know of.
I came close a few times. I agree with you, dude. It is the best song on the EP.
Yeah. It's very well written.
Yes.
So then we get into Gone. This was probably... This was the one that I probably would say was the weakest for me. It's solid. It's solid, but it's not my favorite. I think the chorus gets a little repetitive at times, like just from constructive criticism, but solid song. I don't have anything wrong with it. I don't skip it when it comes on, but it isn't when I cut on the EP, this isn't the one I start with.
This is a skip for me.
I really liked it.
That's what I mean, Andy. I just don't understand you.
This This is maybe my second. I love the way this song sounds. I
does
like
sound
how he
good.
does, and I like how he does the end. I like the way the first half is structured more. Like I like how it does I'm leaving and I'm never coming back is what I always hope to say. I like how he says that. Like it's, this is what I want to say. But then I like how it does I'm gone and like a deeper and it fades off and then the chorus comes back in with it. I love the way that sounds. I like the writing of it. I wish the end of the song was more like structured like at the end of the first verse into the chorus. But that's just because I really like the first half a lot.
Yeah. And then after that, Break My Heart. This is a song that, as Kyle would say, is a Logan D. Berry ass song.
It is.
I like the production on it, and it just, in general, the song is saying like, go on and just break my heart, get it over with. I'm going to just go on with it. Like that's kind of this was probably the first one that I listened to when it came out, just because of the song title. But needless to say, anyone who's listened to this show for any amount of time knows this is up my alley. I was a fan.
Yep, this is right up my alley as well. This is the first four were my favorite for sure. And I agree. It's just right down my alley. He already knows she's been cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Just go
get
on
it
and
over with. Rip the Band-Aid off.
I like the premise of the song. I don't know if the sound suits my taste.
It's fair.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the lyrics are great. Just not quite my taste on the sound. The next one, however.
Oh, do you like Randy Rogers?
Yeah.
How much have you listened to Randy Rogers?
What you've sent me.
Okay, so like 5 songs.
Yeah.
You're missing out on a really good artist. We'll have to talk about that when we get off the show because that's Texas. This is about North Carolina. But we'll continue that discussion later. Yeah, but as Kyle alluded to, the next one is one I really, really like. I don't want to drink alone tonight because this is one of those where there's an element of sadness, but it's done in a more up-tempo kind of fun fashion. This is something, doesn't sound like Koe Wetzel. I'm not saying that, but this is something Koe Wetzel does very well, is kind of having more up-tempo, in-your-face kind of sound to something that has an underlying of sadness. I think this song does very well with that. So this was another one that I was a big fan of.
Song grabbed me off the title. Oh, yep. I'm into that immediately. And it did not let me down. So tip of the cap there.
I like the sound of it. I'd rather it been sadder lyrically.
I like the up-tempo nature.
I do too.
I don't like I don't know, to me it's the brushing the sadness. I'd rather let's just plow right into it.
See, I love those plow right into the sadness type songs, but sometimes I want some of that sad stuff peppered in where it's a little bit more subtle, but the song sound, if you're not listening to the lyrics, it sounds fun.
Rip the Band-Aid off. But if it sounds fun, you got to rip the Band-Aid off.
It's almost the cognitive dissonance of it. If you're not listening to the lyrics, it sounds fun, but if you listen to it, you're like, it's a good example in the pop world. Circles by Post Malone. The song is a banger. It's really fun, but the song is, you've heard it, but the song is actually a really sad song.
I like the bait and switch of this song. The first 5 seconds of it with this slow ass bass line, you're like, oh, nope, never mind. We're not going to get sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because it's a little bit of a bait and switch. And I really like the old jazz, heavy bass at the beginning. And then you're like, nah, never mind. We're going to go a little up tempo.
All right. And then the last one is Man in the Moon. Solid. Again, this was one that I liked, but I didn't love. What about you guys?
I would tend to agree with you. This sounds like the beginning of it sounds like a Logan Miles song.
I can see that. Depending on the era of Logan Miles, I could see that. Andy's wearing a Logan Miles hat right now.
Is that what it was? I thought it was a Pokemon hat.
No, it's Logan. Come on.
I thought it was like the main character from Pokemon. You know, he was like green.
You know me better than that.
It's funny. Andy did dress up like that for Halloween when you're in college. Just kidding.
No, the song reminds
Andy
me.
actually dressed up like a blind man one time.
Oh God!
And then the next year I was white trash.
Yeah.
Andy didn't have to go deep in the wardrobe for that one, did it?
I just took my pants off and put a cut off shirt on.
He walked around in his boxers around downtown and put a cutoff shirt on.
Like I said, didn't have to go deep in the wardrobe.
His best single costume ever, though, Earl Hickey from My Name is Earl. Andy dressed up just like him, and then his fake mustache wouldn't stick. So he gave me and our roommate Clint a Sharpie, and we drew the mustache on his face with a Sharpie.
I was really hoping you were going to say you did the Cartman of South Park.
Andy, Man in the Moon, what'd you think?
This was not my favorite sounding on it. Is the Man in the Moon God in this song?
That's what I couldn't never figure out. You know what I mean?
That's where it left me a little confused.
Yeah, because like for context of what Andy's saying, like in the song, he's saying like whenever I'm very much paraphrasing, but like whenever he's just talking to the man in the moon, when you're like confused or anxious or whatever, like that's where I kind of had the same analogy. I don't know, maybe it is, but
it didn't rank with the first 4 songs for me.
Yeah, same here, but yeah, I mean, very, very good EP. As Kyle would say, this was right up my alley. Let's do our top 3 as we usually do on records. Kyle, you go first, then Andy, and then me.
That's probably say Smoke Clears, Don't Want to Drink Alone. 3 is the hard one. I'd probably go with Runaway. Is it out? Yeah.
Ooh.
1 and 2 are so far superior to the rest, in my opinion.
Andrew? I'm gonna go 1, Whenever the Smoke Clears, Gone, and Runaway.
So for me, 1 is definitely Whenever the Smoke Clears. 2 is Runaway, and then 3 I'll have to go with Don't Want to Drink Alone. It edges out Break My Heart just slightly, but those 4 were my favorite by far. But definitely Whenever the Smoke Clears, Runaway, and then Don't Want to Drink Alone.
I thought you were going to take Break My Heart, and that's why I went with Runaway.
No, I like Break My Heart, but it just slightly is like a 3B. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But Corey Hunt is very – so if some of you from outside the state of North Carolina and outside the state of Texas probably too, because he has some a listener base there, I believe. Like some of you from other states that maybe haven't listened to him, definitely check him out. If you like some of that kind of Texas kind of country rock from the 2000s, he'll probably be something you'll enjoy. This EP is a good place to start. The Tower from I think 2016 when that came out, really good.
It's
record.
A good album. North of Low Water is another really good EP.
Yep, agree. And what was the big hit that he had? Andy, was what I think it's called. I'm Doing Fine. That was one that has a music video for. But definitely check out Corey Hunt. He's one of the
that's on North of Low Water.
Yeah, he's I knew the crop of North Carolina independent music.
He's from the Uwharrie area, if anybody's wondering.
Because didn't he have a Uwharrie River?
Yeah,
song called Uwharrie River.
For the people that are not going to know how to pronounce that, it's down by Asheboro.
Oh, okay.
So definitely check out Corey Hunt. If you
Asheville's not far from Mayberry.
Asheboro.
Oh, Borough. Okay,
like south of Greensboro.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Apologies. Never mind.
People from Asheboro.
Isn't that near
Mount
Airy? Isn't it?
Mount Airy's
north. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know shit.
But yeah, check out Corey Hunt. Let us know what you think. Hit us with a voicemail on some of your favorite North Carolina artists, or even if it's something for a future week of an artist you want to check out. Hit us there in the description. There's a link that says click here to leave us a voicemail. We'd love to hear from you. Check out the website, countryandcoldcans.com, for blog content and merch. And you know what? Give us 5 stars, a great review. Hit subscribe on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's Carolina Country Music Month here on Country and Cold Cans. For this episode, I'm Logan, sitting here with Trucker Andy and King Kyle. See you next time.
Take care, guys.